if you really think about it, right? If you really take a step back and think about it, you've heard me say so many times before that, like, I think it's very easy for a lot of entrepreneurs, marketers, especially online folks, to start to look at their audience as this nebulous, it's our audience, it's a lead, it's a contact in our CRM, it's a number, right? And they're kind of, they then sit down, and when they're crafting a message, whether they're writing it or whatever it is that they're doing, they end up trying to create a marketing message. They end up trying to create an advertisement. They end up trying to write copy, right? And they lose touch with the fact that there is a real person on the other side, and you need to emotionally connect with that person. You need to understand not only what they're feeling coming in, but where ultimately we need to lead them so that they do take action. And it's like, look, man, if it was, I believe it was Brian Keith Voiles years ago, who really was the one that, for me at least, brought to the forefront of my thinking the value of empathy in copy. And to me, right, empathy, not only like, being able to walk a mile in their shoes and being able to see the world through their eyes and understand the world through their eyes, but being authentic and real with people. That's what resonates, man. That's what resonates. Like, people aren't stupid. Like David Ogilvy said, the consumer isn't stupid. She's your wife, meaning like it's a real person. They can see through hardcore pitches. They can see through puffery and advertising copy. The reality is like the where you want to go, the aim, right, is to say it in the clearest, simplest language that resonates with your prospect emotionally and logically. Right? Say it simply. Say it so that, right? Like, don't say it because it sounds good or you think it sounds good, right? Don't say something because like that's the extreme, control your, own your destiny, conquer the world, right? Like, achieve monster status, like all of those things that really kind of, for the average individual, that's not what they're thinking or feeling. And so, right, if you were talking to a friend, you would be real. You would be brutally real, right? You would say things in the simplest way that you possibly could so that they get it and so that it resonates with them. That's what you want to do. So to me, the idea of having a conversation is not just in the way that we write, like, right, but it's truly having a conversation, right? And ultimately, like for us, like, look, when it comes to the E5 method, it's the reality, the way to really think about it is, right, we know why people struggle. We know why people struggle when it comes to new customer acquisition. Most people, right, they don't have an idea that is worthy of paying attention to in their marketplace because it's something that they heard before the market. It's something that they've seen before. We understand that most of these people are presenting their thing as a commodity, right? They're not differentiating, or they're not differentiating the right way. We know that most people aren't proving why their thing is superior, leaving prospects to feel like this is more noise. This is more of the same. This is more of what I've already heard. And most people we know are putting together an offer in 10 minutes. They're spending 10 minutes talking, thinking through, the offer. They're like, you get this, it's at this price point. Maybe it comes with a guarantee and here are some bonuses. Instead of putting together, right, because they underestimate the task at hand. They underestimate what it takes to move somebody to buy today, right? And we've got the answer to that, right? The reality is that you need an idea that gets attention, that stands out, and is different. You also need an idea that you can use on traffic platforms that is compliant. And what people respond to today isn't. And so my point in all this is, right, it's about communicating. It's about conversing with them. It's about having a conversation. That's what convinces people. That's what, and I'm not like, look, I don't want you guys to misunderstand. I know I'm over. I just want to do this quickly. I'm not saying that all it is a conversation. Just have a conversation and you'll sell people. That that's not what I'm saying, right? I'm building on top of everything else that you guys understand. But it's often, it just reminds me of how we've got clients that'll put together a message. And I say to them in a particular paragraph, what are you trying to say here? and they'll give me an answer. And the answer that they give me is usually very different from what it is that they said in that paragraph. And I'll say to them, well, then why didn't you just say that? Right? Why didn't you just say that? Why do you feel the need to embellish, to overpromise, to use words that you wouldn't use in a conversation, to use copy words, to try to make it sound better? Why, like create a tsunami of new clients coming into your, your business like a massive tidal wave of, you would never say that. Right. And so like that is, people see it, they spot it, they almost feel, they feel disrespected with that kind of message. It triggers that, yeah, right. That's that whole, have a conversation. Just lay it out. Like, you understand the aim in the E5 context, right? That conversation is moving them towards seeing a thesis and feeling a certain way. Right? Like accepting a thesis, accepting what it is that we want them to accept. In our world, right? We know that it's that the unique mechanism is the superior way to get the result that they want. But we're doing it in a conversation. We're not doing it in a sales pitch.